complete package by itself. Nourishment is only for physical purposes. Everything else is packaged inside. Everything else that is necessary for this being is within. It does not need any input from outside. This is a complete being by itself. You think this is half a being or a complete being? If it is a complete being, its happiness, its blissfulness, its love, everything should come from within, isn't it? Even a mango tree, is it asking for injections of sweetness? Sugar injections you give to make it sweet? You put rubbish and it transforms that rubbish into sweetness, isn't it? So if life has placed you in rubbish situations, it is just a question of your ability to make this into your sweetness, isn't it? No, Sadguru, you have not seen my mother-in-law. I'm seeing a lot of them. You will also become one after some time, then people will have the same things to say about you, unfortunately. Because generation after generation they're saying the same things. Isn't it so? Generation after generation we are talking about the same damn problems. That means we are not evolving in any way, just imitating. You know, people take on names, in India at least, in many parts of the world actually, people have second names which indicate their profession. Do you have in Andhra Pradesh? Like a goldsmith, carpenter, topiwala, daruwala, dabbawala, whatever else. But in early 70s, lots of movies were named donga, 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 all kinds of donga. Is that so? I've seen these posters around. I didn't see the movies, but I saw the poster, donga, donga, donga ku donga, 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 something. So, this is a topiwala. This happened in early 20th century. On a certain day, topiwala means he's a hat seller. He's going from village to village in this tropical heat, trying to sell hats to people. So on a summer afternoon, after a whole day's of work in the afternoon, he was very tired. He came and sat under a tree, kept his hats aside, opened his packed lunch, ate it, sat down, dozed off, just like some of you are trying to do just now. And after some time, he woke up, he looked, all his hats were gone, distraught. He looked all over the place, who took my hats away? No sign of hats. He looked all over the place, no hats. Then he looked up. There was a whole bunch of monkeys sitting with hats on. Then he got furious, he screamed at them. They screamed back at him. He screeched, they screeched. He abused them. They threw back their own monkey abuses at him. Then he picked up whatever he could and threw it at them. They threw whatever they could, lay their hands upon. Then not knowing what to do, he took his hat and flung it on the ground out of frustration. All the monkeys took their hats and flung it on the ground. Our topiwala picked up all the hats and went about his business. This is 2009 September. Another topiwala going about his business. In an afternoon, tired, came and sat under a tree, opened his packed lunch, he ate, dozed off promptly. When he opened his eyes, all the hats gone. He didn't look around, he looked straight up. There were a bunch of monkeys sitting with heads on. He got up and jived. They all jived. He made funny faces at them, they made funnier faces at him. He had all the fun he wanted to have with them. Then he took his hat and flung it on the ground. A baboon of a monkey came quickly down, picked up the hat, walked up to him, gave him a tight slap and said, "You fool, you think only you had a grandfather?" See, there is evidence that monkeys are evolving. There is scientific evidence, believe me, but there is no such evidence about the human beings. So, imitation has become the way of life. Imitation means frozen intelligence, isn't it? Yes? Imitation means frozen intelligence. I want you to go home today and just for 2 hours, I want you to… Oh, there are other people at home, they'll notice all these things. When you're alone, you do it. You go home, look at everything in your house, yourself, your clothing, the way you sit, the way you stand, the way you arrange your house, the way you live, the way you eat, everything. Drop your Telugu identity, your Indian identity, your Hindu identity, your Muslim identity, whatever else you have. Keep everything down, just walk through the house and look at yourself, the way you are dressed, the way you look, the way everything. Is this the way you would be if you were not imitating somebody? Suppose from your own intelligence, if you were the only man on the planet or the only woman on the planet, is this the way you would make yourself? I want you to look at this. Applying your own intelligence. Nobody to tell you how to live, nobody to tell you how to sit, how to stand, how to cook, what. How would you, from your own intelligence, how would you conduct your life? Some application of your intelligence is needed, isn't it? This is not outside the country, of course. Outside the country, they have no problem because they do not know. If I go to any of the corporate whatever, like the India Economic Forum or somewhere else, people will say, "From which tradition are you from? What tradition of spirituality are you from?" I ask, "Why do you ask this?" I'm not from any tradition. They say, "No, your clothing." I say, "I'm the only Indian left here. All of you guys, your brains are in UK. You dress like them, your hair is cut like them, you behave like them, you act like them. Even in this hot weather, you're wearing jackets and nooses around your neck and walking around. I'm the only Indian left here." What is spiritual about this? What is spiritual about this? There's something very Indian, isn't it? No? Is there something spiritual about my clothing? Just Indian. But now imitation takes such a precedence over everything else, intelligence gets frozen. After some time, it's almost like it's not there, simply automated about everything. Every human being, at least some part of the day, he must break through his imitation patterns and do something out of his own intelligence, not for just freaking everybody, just to exercise your intelligence. Because if you see if a person walking here, if his body is well exercised, the very way he walks, you can see his body is well kept, isn't it so? Yes or no? Right now, if I ask you to stand up, most of you will use all your 4 limbs. That's how you kept it. There will be a few people who will simply stand up. That shows how their body is, isn't it so? Similarly, if your mind is well exercised, you think it's not visible? You think it's not visible? It's definitely visible, isn't it? If your energies are well exercised, it's hugely visible. Nobody can miss it, it'll hit them in the face. If your energies are well exercised and on, anybody walks in front of you, it'll boom, it'll bang them before they come near you. So if you have physical fitness, you can run and catch a bus. If you have mental fitness, you can create a bus. If you have energy fitness, you don't need a bus. The question is, the basic question is just this: are we here to experience life or are we here to avoid life? Are you clear about this? Why I'm asking this question is, lot of people come to me and say, Sadguru, please bless us, nothing should happen to us. I say, what kind of blessing is this? My blessing is, let everything happen to you. Is that okay? Let everything that's life happen to you, isn't it? And that which is not life will anyway not happen to you. You think something else will happen to you? What if death happens? That is also life. If there was no death, there wouldn't be life, isn't it? A family, an affluent family built a nice house for themselves and they invited a yogi to bless their house. You know, this used to be the tradition, I think now you're just doing with your friends. When you build a new house, they want some sage or seer to come and bless their house. Are you still doing that? So they invited this yogi. The yogi came, they welcomed him, they treated him like a king, they worshipped him and they fed him well. It's time for him to go. The husband, the wife and the children came for a blessing, please bless us. The yogi raised his hands and said, first let your father die, then you die, then let your children die. The man got furious. You fool, we brought you here, treated you like a king, fed you well, and now when I ask for a blessing, you say first my father should die, then I, then my children. What is this nonsense? The yogi was shocked. He said, what did I say wrong? Is it not good if first your father dies, then you die, then your children die? Would it be good if you died before your father? Or if your children died before you, is it good? It's not good. Your father should die first. Then you should die. Then your children should die. That means life is happening well, isn't it so? Yes or no? Or you don't want to die? So, the reason, one of the reasons why people are not living is because they don't want to die. The more you say, I don't want to die, the less you live. It is not that I'm wishing to die today, but if I die today, I'll go blissfully. If it so happens that I have to die today, I will go blissfully without looking backward. If this is so, you will live your life fully today, isn't it? I should not die, I should not die, I should not die. All that'll happen is you will not live, anyway you'll die. Yes, I want you to know, death is super efficient. It's only life which needs your assistance. It's only life which needs improvement, which needs nourishment. Death, you don't bother. When it happens, it's super efficient. Nobody ever died inefficiently. They all lived inefficiently, but nobody died inefficiently, they died. When they died, 100%, isn't it? I was in a program just 2 months ago and this lady has come from Singapore, I think Singapore or Malaysia. Then she thinks this is a great achievement. She stands up and says, you know, this is a kind of person who doesn't need a microphone, you know. I really pity her family because he said, Sadguru, this happened, that's happened in my life. I tried to commit suicide many times. I said, stop. You're horribly inefficient. If you cannot even die, What can you do with life, I'm asking. Many times she committed suicide. It takes only one time. Obviously, you're horribly inefficient or you're horribly cunning. By every other day committing suicide, you're trying to torture somebody in your house, all the people around you. And if you do not know this, if anybody is going to play this game, if you do not know this, according to Indian Penal Code, attempted suicide gets you 7 years of imprisonment. You want to try? When I was conducting this, this inner freedom for the imprisoned, I was doing a program in the Coimbatore Central Prison. All kinds of people, because we are only dealing with long-term prisoners, most of them have come for murder or more, okay? So, don't think murderers means they will be like this with horns coming out of their head, nothing. They're just like you, very nice people. Really. They're absolutely wonderful people. It is just that they will simply do whatever they feel like doing, they're like little children. If they want to rob you, they'll just rob you. If they want to beat you, they'll just beat you. If they want to kill you, they'll just kill you. You also want to kill a lot of people, but you don't. You are a little more cunning, little more manipulative about this. You just wish them dead. You don't go and take the adventure of killing them. When you get angry, you also wish somebody dead? Huh? Yes or no? You do, don't say no. When you get really angry and resentful, you wish them dead, but you know the consequences of attempting it. So you tie your hands up, try to mentally kill them. Maybe that's why you come for spiritual training now. So that you can shoot daggers through your eyes and kill them. I want you to get this straight. If you're resentful about somebody, only when you feel resentful you want somebody dead, isn't it? Resentment is a poison that you drink, but you expect somebody else to die. Life doesn't work like that. If you drink the poison, you die, not me. Yes or no? If you sow bitterness into you, you die, not me. Please know this, not somebody else. If you drink the poison, you die. This is the way this world works. We do not know about other worlds. Here, this is the law. If you drink the poison, you die. I'll drink the poison and expect her to die. It doesn't work. This is what this woman is doing. She'll attempt suicide and she expects somebody else to die. Not happening.